Once upon a time in the heart of the Zulu kingdom, a young prince, beloved by his people, stood on the brink of inheriting the throne. His courage in battle and wisdom in governance made him a natural leader, but behind the scenes, jealousy brewed. His cousin, a man consumed by bitterness and ambition, coveted the crown for himself. One fateful night, the cousin devised a plan, framing the prince for treason. The council, swayed by lies, had no choice but to exile the prince, banishing him from the kingdom he loved. Far from the kingdom, the prince wandered through the rugged wilderness. His heart was heavy, not only with the weight of exile, but with the sting of betrayal. As the days passed, he grew weaker, both in body and spirit. But just as hope seemed to fade, the prince stumbled upon a quiet village, nestled in a lush valley. The village was known for its healers, and among them was a young woman, Nandi, whose wisdom and beauty captured the prince's attention. Nandi saw the pain in the prince's eyes, and, though she did not know his true identity, she welcomed him into her home. Over time, the prince regained his strength. Nandi, with her healing hands and kind heart, not only nursed his body, but also began to mend his broken soul. She taught him about the herbs of the land, the ancient rituals passed down through generations, and the sacred bond between nature and spirit. As their days together lengthened, so did their bond, a quiet love growing between them. One evening, as the fire crackled in the hearth, the prince told Nandi his story. He spoke of his cousin's betrayal, his unjust exile, and the kingdom now teetering under false leadership. Nandi listened carefully and realized that the prince could not stay hidden forever. His destiny called him back to the kingdom, but returning meant risking everything. Nandi, with her deep connection to the spirit world, sought the guidance of her ancestors. Under the light of the full moon, she performed a sacred ritual, calling upon the ancestors to reveal the path forward. The wind stirred, and the flames danced, as the ancestors whispered their answer: the prince must return to his kingdom, but not alone. Nandi was to be his guide. The next morning, the prince and Nandi set out on their journey. They traveled through dense forests, across wide rivers, and over rocky hills, relying on Nandi's knowledge of the land and the prince's strength. Along the way, they encountered dangers, wild animals, treacherous terrain, and even hostile warriors sent by the cousin to prevent the prince's return. But their greatest challenge lay ahead. As they neared the kingdom, they faced the cousin's army, waiting to ambush them at the kingdom's borders. Outnumbered, the prince and Nandi used both strength and cunning, calling upon the spirits to blind the enemy, allowing them to slip past the guards and enter the city unnoticed. Inside the kingdom walls, the prince revealed himself to his loyal supporters. News of his return spread like wildfire, and soon the people began to rally behind him. The cousin, realizing his plan was unraveling, grew desperate and called for a final confrontation. The stage was set for a decisive battle. On the day of the battle, the two cousins faced each other. The prince, armed with the truth and the support of his people, fought with the strength of a lion. His cousin, blinded by greed and anger, was no match. The fight ended swiftly, and the prince stood victorious, reclaiming his rightful place as the heir to the throne. But the victory was bittersweet. The prince could not take the throne without addressing the pain caused by the betrayal. In a gesture of mercy, he spared his cousin's life, exiling him from the kingdom just as he had once been exiled. The people watched in awe as their new leader chose redemption over revenge. As the sun set on that fateful day, the prince returned to the palace, with Nandi by his side. The two stood together before the kingdom, united by love and by the trials they had overcome. The ancestors smiled upon them, for they had proven that love, honor, and loyalty would always prevail. Under the reign of the exiled prince, now returned as king, the kingdom flourished. Nandi became a revered queen, known for her wisdom and her connection to the ancestors. Together, they ruled with compassion, ensuring that betrayal and greed would never again darken their lands. Their love became legend, a story passed down through the generations, reminding all who heard it that true love is not just a bond between two hearts but a force that can heal even the deepest wounds. And so, the kingdom thrived under their rule, as love and loyalty remained at its core. As the years passed, the prince and Nandi grew older, their love never fading. Their children carried on their legacy, and the kingdom remembered them not just as rulers, but as symbols of hope, courage, and undying love. The ancestors, too, continued to watch over them, guiding their steps with every new dawn. And so, the exiled prince's journey, from betrayal to redemption, from loss to love, came full circle. His heart, once broken by treachery, was healed by the love of a woman who believed in him, and together, they built a legacy that would stand the test of time. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channels on YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok if you have not done so.